In 1865, Idaho's capital moved from Lewiston to Boise, and it took a surprisingly hard effort. A theft of the state seal followed political disagreements and debate of whether it was a move or a theft. In 1863, the Idaho Territory was organized. Lewiston, Idaho, a tent city at the time, with a population larger than both Portland and Seattle combined, was named its capital. Its first territorial governor, William H. Wallace, was appointed by Abraham Lincoln. Only a year later, a resolution to make Boise the capital passed. A fight for the rightful capital ensued, and as can be assumed by modern Idaho, Boise won. Idaho Territory was carved out and signed into existence in 1863. It originally included Montana and most of Wyoming. Territorial governors were appointed by the president, so Idaho's first territorial governor, William H. Wallace, was appointed by Abraham Lincoln.
When Idaho became a territory, it was not immediately assigned a capital. That decision was up to the governor, at the time William H. Wallace. Wallace chose Lewiston, as it is closest to his home territory of Washington and had most of Idaho's population at the time. When gold was found in Boise Basin, many miners moved from Lewiston to Boise in 1863, and Lewiston was left with most of its population leaving for gold down south. Only a year after Lewiston was named capital, Southerners began to complain that Boise Basin had a larger population than the sparsely populated Lewiston. H.C. Riggs went to the Idaho legislature to present this idea to them. Riggs was a founder of Boise, and this was once said about him, quote, "He is a man of fine appearance and business qualifications, would make useful member if he were not troubled with territorial capital and Boise City on the brain. The only things he has asked for yet, for Boise City, are the territorial capital, a branch mint, an assay office, a distributing post office, and a division of Boise County, and the location of that county seat at that place." To go into further detail, on November 14, 1864, the second session of the legislature was held at Lewiston. This session lasted for 40 days. House Bill No. 26, otherwise known as the Bill to Move the Capital, was introduced on November 21, 1864, by H.C. Riggs. An amendment to submit the proposal to vote of the people at the next general election lost, but the bill did pass the House by a vote of 8-4.
It reached the upper house on December 1st, where it passed by a vote of 4-3. Lewiston's very own E.B. Waterbury, S.S. Fenn, and Stanford Cap wrote a disagreement. They claimed the bill was not reasonable nor fair. Now it was all up to Governor Lyon whether the bill would be approved or not. If he approved it, the capital would be moved. If he didn't, the bill would never be able to come back. I assume it was Boise's kindness towards Lyon, or perhaps he was just fond of the area, or saw the numbers behind the move. On December 7th, Caleb Lyon affixed his official signature to the bill. Boise was designated the territory capital, effective December 24th, 1864.
As was to be expected, Lewiston's leading citizens did not want to give up their status. They wanted to be designated the permanent capital, despite their population having dwindled to 359 residences since the year 1862. Attorneys of Lewiston went to court in 1864. They questioned the legitimacy of the territorial legislature. The populace of Lewiston, led by Alonzo Leland, secured a writ of ne exit, which signifies "don't let him go." This filed for the governor's immediate arrest and detention. On top of that, it ordered that the records be retained at Lewiston until the case should be settled on a hearing before Judge Alex Smith. Lewiston's probate judge ruled that all bills passed in late 1864 were not valid, as no one could determine when Idaho's legislature should have met. This included the capital change to Boise. Governor Caleb Lyon fled with Sol Hasbrook to go quote-unquote duck hunting on December 29, 1864. They went to the clear water with only a shotgun and small boat. They rid down the river until intercepted by a ferry. This ferry caught the two fugitives and brought the governor to Walla Walla, Washington. With the problems with the capital destination, Lewiston's law enforcement authorities locked up Idaho's territorial seal and archives in their county jail. They stayed there for 3 months, where an around-the-clock armed guard made sure Boise couldn't capture the papers. Idaho's Supreme Court had not yet succeeded in organizing, so Boise's attorneys had no way to appeal. The 5 Lewiston partisans eventually let Lyon go peacefully, seeing as the territorial seal and archives were still in Lewiston. Lyon took this opportunity to escape Idaho and departed to Portland, leaving Idaho without a governor. Newly appointed Territorial Secretary C. DeWitt Smith, who had not been able to reach Lewiston for 6 months due to an Indian war, couldn't step in as acting governor. Eventually, the territorial legislature managed to correctly pass House Bill No. 26. Ever since 1865, and Idaho reached statehood on July 3, 1890, Boise has been the capital.
Boise is now one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, and things would have been very different if Lewiston were still the capital. Who knows? Lewiston might have been one of America's fastest growing cities. Today in both Boise and Lewiston, there are multiple places you can go to learn about the capital change, and possibly because of the capital change, Boise is now bustling with more people than there has been in years. Downtown is a common place for Saturday markets and shopping and relaxing at the Grove Plaza. All in all, Boise has developed into a beautiful city, and many Idahoans are proud to call Idaho and Boise our home. Though Northerners know the capital isn't what matters, and at the end of the day we're all Idahoans, they still can't help but remind us that Lewiston was the capital for a year, and frankly, we don't blame them.
The wonders our land does possess, its beautiful valleys and hills, the majestic forests where nature abounds. We love every nook and rill.